What's up, y'all? Anime Autistic, and I've seen several videos lately that are just going past the last decade of anime. And I know that I'm probably a little bit late on this. The reason for that, I wanted to make sure I saw kind of all the cream of the crop from last year, from 2019, and watched everything. So I was like, let me get caught up on that so I can give an actual opinion that isn't completely and totally wrong and stupid. So I'm going to just talk about year by year, just, hey, this is what, it's going to be based off of kind of my personal bias, what I thought was really good, because I wouldn't ever say something's good if I didn't actually think it was good. That's not going to happen. And then just kind of, hey, here's what was popular during the time. This is what people were enjoying during the time. And then the last criteria would be like the critical appeal or the critical success, or just the general consensus of everybody who kind of, I don't know, rates, judges, whatever anime did agree, you know, this is a pretty dope thing that we all should have watched. It's a good thing. So I'm just going to talk about year by year, starting off, obviously. Now, for 2010, when I was looking through all the anime that came out in 2010, in general, I was like, I'm not super impressed by this year. Now, there were a few things, but nothing super stood out other than High School of the Dead and Durarara. Now, I do like Durarara, and I know it's a lot of people's up there for a lot of people. I know it's a couple people's favorite anime. The thing is, I don't think people think Durarara is cream of the crop. Absolutely. Like, they think, like, it's great for the characters, but the story, it just follows the characters. It's not, you know, super much giving this big message or anything like that. Now, neither is High School of the Dead, but High School of the Dead, let's face it, looks fantastic, is over the top, totally crazy. Probably not like the first anime you should watch. Maybe it is. I don't know. Is it in bad taste? Yes. But is it freaking fun and amazing? Yes. And does it tell that crazy, like, wow, this is a mind-blowing story? No. All in all, though, I have a personal soft spot for High School of the Dead. It was something that when I was watching it, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And I think a lot of people will have that same reaction. And it's just fun. You don't always need something deep. You don't always need something that's supposed to raise all these things inside you. Some things are just fun. And if you're watching anime for just an entertainment value standpoint, High School of the Dead is just fun. It's good entertainment. It's a little, I don't know, risque, if you want to say that, which it is. But it's not bad. Is it something that I would let a 10-year-old watch and say, hey, watch this with your kids? Absolutely not. But if you're someone who's, you know, I don't know, 16, 15 and above, yeah, it's totally a fun trip. Now, jumping to 2011 is kind of when I personally started really getting into anime. I was really interested. I started getting really interested in it. It started being like, oh, yeah, let's make sure I check everything out. And so, again, in 2011, there wasn't a ton of stuff, but there was some great stuff. I will say, while I don't think it was the best one from that year, ReZero, primo stuff from that year. And then the sequel, I guess that was kind of the prequel series to Unlimited Blade Works, Fate Stay Night. That one's great too. And they match each other very well. I don't know if you would say they're the same. They're the same show, because they're definitely not. They're two totally different stories. But then again, all of JoJo's is different stories, so I don't know what to say to that. Now, I don't think Fate Zero is the best one. It's got great action. It visually looks fantastic, and it does have a lot of interesting themes. A lot of good characters. Gilgamesh is great. Iskandar is great. I would say there's a few other pretty good characters. Not all of them are fantastic, but what also came out that year was Hunter x Hunter, which for a show that was airing consecutively for 100 and I believe it's 152 episodes, 152 weeks. Madhouse did a good job. That show looks really good. And it's got such great fights, and beyond the fights, there is a lot of great characters. The Chimerian arc is one of my favorite arcs in anime. It's just so good. I really do want to... I've only seen it once. I only went through it once, but when I went through the Chimerian arc, I could not stop watching. I was in college at the time, because I was watching towards the very end of when it was airing. I started to watch it, so it was definitely done by the time I finished it. And I was like, you know what, I really should be studying for a test right now. I have a test, in 2 days. This is the night before. I was like, I really need to be studying for this. I think it was Principles of Finance? I want to say Principles of Finance. And I was like, I should be studying for that. But no, kept watching, especially once you get to the Castle Invasion arc. I just could not stop watching. It was crazy. The three guards and Meruem are fantastic characters. Hisoka's a great character. I think Killua is a fantastic character as well. It's got this great theme to it. There's just so many awesome moments. It's top. I think that is a top-notch show. Whether you're just getting into anime or you've watched it for a while, I think either way, it'll impress and make an impact. So for 2012, personally, this is not my favorite. So, since I'm not making a super personal one though, this is also what's super popular and everybody seems to love it is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, I do like JoJo's. What really kind of kicks me off of JoJo's is Part 3 trails on a little bit too long for me. I think they're just parts that just don't add to the story. It just kind of like, why is this? What was the point of this episode? There's just tons of episodes I didn't like in Part 3. My friend who got me back into JoJo's, he said, you should skip this part, skip this part, if you aren't liking it. So I watched the parts that I was supposed to watch. Now, the reason I give it a JoJo is Magi also started airing this, and I love Magi. I think Magi is a great show. I think it's fantastic. And I think the Netflix Sinbad series is really, really good too. They both look fantastic. It got a good amount of good characters. It's not chopped full of amazing characters, but it does have some good characters, good moments, some really cool action, and there's some interesting themes. It's not super duper there. Personally, I didn't love the geopolitics of Magi. It wasn't right up my alley, but it wasn't presented in a annoying way. I was just like, you know what, this show isn't 100% for me, but it definitely is a lot for me. It had a lot of things that I personally enjoy. I like the aesthetic of it too. It's got a very good aesthetic. And so unlike Magi, JoJo's also continued. I'd also say Psycho-Pass, but personally, I wouldn't be able to say Psycho-Pass. Just, to me, I'm trying to get through it right now, and I just get bored with it. I just get bored. I'm sorry. I know everybody's like, it's so good. And yeah, it does present a lot of interesting kind of philosophical ideas, it presents it presents something going against the idea of this utopian society, that we can't create a utopian society. It's got things like that. But that's not super new to me. I don't find that super interesting either. It's something that should be obvious. There's no such thing as a perfect society. Every society is going to have its checks and because of checks and balances, everything's going to have a downside. Everything in the world, in the universe, everything has an equal and opposite reaction. So it just doesn't go, oh, wow. So I know people give it a lot of praise, and it's pretty popular. I just personally can't say it's, wow, so good. For 2013, it would be wrong, just hurtful to, I would be chastised if I didn't say it was Attack on Titan. I mean, it's when it first came out, boom. It was even there for kind of it broke into the mainstream a good amount. Not as much as Sword Art Online, but also unlike Sword Art Online, it's good. It was really good, and I like it a lot. It's super high up there for me. I think it's fantastic. I love it. It's one of the few anime that got me to be like, yo, I'm reading the manga of this thing, which usually does not happen. Even especially since the manga doesn't look that nice. I'm not saying it's bad. It's kind of, it looks a little dirty. It looks a little unorganized. Now that being said, Kill la Kill is a banger too. That is also a top tier show. Kill la Kill is fantastic. It just does not, to me. It's also more niche, and it's not. I don't know if it gets the same critical appeal or critical, nods as Attack on Titan does. I personally don't like it quite as much, so in all the kind of categories it goes a little bit low, but 100% would suggest Kill la Kill. Again, that's probably not one of the things I'd say if you're just getting an anime, watch Kill la Kill. You'll love it, because when I watched it, I was already in love with the medium, and I was like, okay, all right. So for 2014, just based off of how big it was, it's Sword Art Online. Kidding. I'm kidding. No. Psych. No, it's gotta probably be, I think it's Your Lie in April. I personally think it's kind of overrated, but just so many people love it, and it's so like everybody. It looks beautiful. I'll give you that, and it's a nice story. It's a great story. I personally don't. I don't love romance anime, so that's kind of why it's not personally for me. But I do think it's good, and I did like it. It's just not right up my alley. But if you like something like that, it's definitely worth checking out. Now, Seven Deadly Sins also came out, and I liked the first season. The second season, you got a little off track, and then, wow, the third season. If you see the animation, you're like, oh wow, this really went downhill. You don't appreciate pretty decent, pretty good animation until you see pretty bad animation. You're like, oh wow, man. I personally was like, wow, I don't think I appreciated the Seven Deadly Sins for what it was. It is a good show. If you're getting into anime, it's pretty good. I would say if you like Lord of the Rings, you should check it out. Like I said, season 3 don't look that good. It was picked up by a different studio. I believe it's Studio Dean, I want to say, if I remember correctly. And they just made it look kind of bad. I haven't been watching episode to episode, but I have seen how it looks. I have seen some of the things where the fights are there, and you're like, wow, this is a part where it should look really good, because this is, an impactful fight scene. And it doesn't look good at all, and that's a problem. When you have a really badass fight, you're supposed to have, some badass animation, which does not occur in this third season. So it came out in 2014, No Game, No Life, and Space Dandy. I think those are both funny shows, and shows with like a good amount of action. I'm not certain which one's better. I would actually probably give it to No Game, No Life. The intro's banging. That opening is great, and it's got a very weird aesthetic. When I finished it, I was like, I don't know if I watched something completely fantastic or something that just looked really pretty and was trash. But either way, I really, really liked it. Space Dandy, made by the same creator as Cowboy Bebop, same creator as Carolyn Tuesday, and of Samurai Champloo. So if you've seen those three and you like those three and you haven't watched Space Dandy, check out Space Dandy, because it's also pretty good. I like it quite a bit. It does make me laugh. Each episode is directed by a different director, so it gives it a different feel, which is dope as well. And it just, I don't know, it's a great romp. Is it filled with philosophical themes? Is it filled with fantastic characters? No, but each individual little journey, mission, whatever they do in that episode, it varies, and it's just a fun kind of variety hour almost show. Fate Stay Night also came out, and also did Haikyuu, both of those are really good. Haikyuu's really, really good, and Fate Stay Night is also really, really good. Yes, visually they're good. Haikyuu, if you're not into sports anime, I don't think you're gonna like it. Now Fate/stay night, that does have that kind of wide appeal, but again, it's its own thing, which is good. But unfortunately, that kind of opens the gate of the whole Fate franchise, which some of it's good, some of it's kind of crappy. All in all, I have to give it to Your Lie in April. It's just something that honestly I think you can give to somebody who's not an anime fan, and they go, "Wow, that's really cool." Which I guess you can also do for Seven Deadly Sins. Really, it's kind of subjective, but I think to me, Your Lie in April edges out the other ones just quite a bit, just a teeny bit from Seven Deadly Sins, which took a dip, and from Fate/stay night, which is cool but not top tier. And then Haikyuu is for sports anime, so it's a little bit more niche. Not everybody's gonna appreciate it. I don't know why some people don't watch sports anime, but that's their problem. So in 2015, after a long time, the Dragon Ball franchise came back with Super, which didn't have a great start. I know a lot of people were upset about that, but then really picked up and really got good. But of course, that's not the answer. It can't be. Now, also, Assassination Classroom came out as well, which has good visuals. It was pretty well animated. It's got humor, it's got some action, it's got some nice storytelling, it's got some nice heart-filled moments, and it's got good characters. It's kind of the whole package deal in a way. Now, that being said, One Punch Man was something that total normies could watch. And I hate saying normies because it sounds like it's me looking down on somebody. It's not. But if you're just someone who's not into anime and you watch One Punch Man, you can still enjoy it. And you're just like, wow, that was really cool. It was animated great. Honestly, season 2, I know some people have some problems with it. Personally, I still don't really think season 2 is anything that's not fantastic. I thought there was a lot of... Now, I've read a good amount of manga. Again, one of those things that got me to read the manga, which does not happen. But yeah, beyond it being super popular, everybody who watches anime agrees, wow, that's fantastic. That first season, a lot of people would probably say that should be in the top, 20, 30 anime of all time. Potentially, probably. So that's a good mark towards it too. Just in general, it's great. It's a good starter anime, good finisher anime, whatever. Anybody can watch it and love it. It looks beautiful, got tons of great characters. So yeah, that's the top. Even though, personally, I like Food Wars more. I do like Food Wars more, but again, that's a little bit more niche. Not as many people are going to check out a show about food, even though you should. You really should. It's weird that I'm talking about these back and back, but for 2016, My Hero Academia came out. And My Hero Academia is pretty freaking good. And it's so popular. It's outstandingly popular. People love it. But, if you're not necessarily a big anime fan, and you're just watching this video because you're like, maybe I should just check out some anime, whatever. And then yeah, check out My Hero Academia. I think it's great for that purpose. Because it's super popular, easy to get into. It doesn't flood you with a ton of things. It looks pretty nice, not amazing, but it is really pretty good. And now a lot of people are like, yo, it should be in the top. It's like one of the top 10 best shonen of all time. I don't know if that's true. I personally would not really agree with that, but if that's your opinion, that's fine. It's okay. You're totally allowed to have that opinion. So, actually, it's really hard for me to make a decision on this, but I would say for a casual anime fan, the best anime of that year is going to be My Hero Academia. Now, I do have to say, Re:Zero also came out that year. I liked that a lot. That filled me with... I got emotional some episodes, and I usually don't get emotional. Just does not really happen. Not happening very often. Every once in a while, something cinematic will happen, and I'll go, oh, man. Or I'll just go, wow, that was, sad or something. Whatever it is. or I'll just get super excited. That happens a lot of times too. That happens a lot of times too. I mentioned the Sinbad. That's probably one of the best anime that Netflix has come out with. To me personally, I think that's the second best one that they've done. It is really good. It's very entertaining. It doesn't have a second season yet, so that kind of knocks it down a little bit. But it is really good. I really like the adventures, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. Woo! Does it look good? And it's got a few good characters. Sinbad's a great character. What I would give to 2016, though, probably is Mob Psycho, though. For those who are anime fans and have watched plenty of anime, it is a great kind of change of pace for different shonen things. I don't even know if I would put it in the shonen genre. I guess I would. There's slice of life elements to it. There's comedy to it. There's great action to it. There's great characters. There's a great story. It resonates with a lot of people. Like a lot of people, Mob Psycho resonates for it. I think that has the much better critical acclaim versus the popular. And honestly, I'm not certain if I like My Hero Academia more or I like Mob Psycho more. Am I trying to please anime fans? Not really. Just personally, I would say if I had to be completely objective, Mob Psycho, I would have to say, is probably going to be a better show. It's a better anime. It's got so many. I think it's got more things going on than My Hero. Where I feel like My Hero, just the best thing about it is the character development, the character writing for it. Because My Hero does have 2, maybe 4, up to 5 fantastic characters, in my opinion. So, it's got some really good characters. Where Mob Psycho, I do like the characters, but they don't impact me. The story of Mob and everything, the story impacts me in Mob Psycho 100. 2017's Boruto, obviously. Let's go to 2018. No, it's Made in Abyss. I think everybody has said that. When I watched Made in Abyss, and to still this day, there was not another anime that I was like, oh wow, just visually, that I was like, oh, nothing else really compares to this. I know Demon Slayer's gotten so much attention, and Demon Slayer does look really good, but Made in Abyss looks so much better. Made in Abyss looks fantastic. I am so excited for the movie that's coming out. It'll be here in January. I don't think it's out. I think it's the 17th. So that's super exciting. I know Black Clover also came out 2017, but looks kind of poopy. I like the story and I love the characters of Black Clover. I love the Black Bulls. The Black Bulls are a great group. I think they are hilarious, and I think the show's really funny. But it looks like poopy. It looks so poopy. And it's all the kind of... I don't know if it's generic shonen. I think it kind of is. But it's all the generic stuff done right. Does it compare to My Hero? A little bit, but I don't think it's as good as My Hero. And I don't think it's probably as good as... as Demon Slayer as well, that people really enjoy, because that's got, and I'll talk about it for 2019.
Just a quick post note, imagine if Black Clover got the Demon Slayer treatment. Like, imagine if it looked like that. That'd be so amazing. I would love that show.
For 2018, I might sound silly saying this, but this isn't super well known. But a good amount of stuff came out in 2018, but not too much caught everybody on fire. I do truly believe it's The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. It was about, this anime boy. It's not a super heard of, but it's about this anime boy who has psychic powers and kind of essentially could be a god, but nobody knows about it. And he finds it as a huge nuisance having these psychic powers. So it's very funny to see him having this massive amount of power and being constrained to like, oh, this is a problem for me. I don't like it. It's kind of a series of shorts. You can find it on Netflix, though. They've compiled it into full 23-minute episodes, and it's so funny. It's super funny. Also on Netflix, Devilman Crybaby came out, and while that's pretty fantastic as well, I don't think it's not as appealing. It's got a very weird art style. It's super graphic. It's just not something that I think everybody can like. That you can just be like, yo, hey, super casual anime fan, yo, check out Devilman Crybaby, because some of them will come back to you and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? So I have to give it a side K, even though Devilman Crybaby is pretty badass. A lot of people call it a masterpiece, and I don't know if that's true, but it is something that did make me, it is a little more heady, made me think. Also, didn't get me like emotional, but I compare it kind of to Mob Psycho. They're like, one is the tail end of the coin, and then the other one's the head end of the coin. And if you watch them both, if you were to watch them you watch like Mob Psycho Season 1, then Devilman Crybaby, then Mob Psycho Season 2, I think that'd be an interesting experience for you. I didn't do that, but I would say, yo, you should do that. There's a sports anime that not everybody knows, but it's called Habanero, and that's just it's sports anime, so not everyone's gonna watch it, and it's about badminton on top of that, but it does visually look fantastic. Is it a fantastic anime? No, but I do want to shout it out because I do enjoy that show. So for 2019, right now, as you're watching this, well, maybe not, as it's coming out, Crunchyroll is doing their best anime of the year, and you go and you vote. And on that list, I kind of looked at everything, and I've watched pretty much all of their things that they said anime of the year for. And I know that everyone's going to say Vinland Saga. And Vinland Saga is great. But I can't say that. I just cannot. Personally, is it going to be more appealing to more people? Probably. I think so. Is it going to have does it have that critical acclaim? Yeah, it kind of does. And I know Demon Slayer was the most popular thing, and I really like Demon Slayer. I feel like Demon Slayer, to me, feels a little like Soul Eater. It feels a little like Blue Exorcist, and it feels a little kind of like My Hero Academia as well. It kind of feels like all those different things, but it's all done really well and put together. And visually, they're right. I think in 10 years, I hear everybody talking about the visuals, everybody talking about the animation, how good it is. The CG for it, the CG for the characters during the fight scenes, it is not going to age well in 10 years. It is not going to age well in 10 years. That's what I have to say about it. But it does look good. I think it's a freaking dope show. So while those two are super good, I would hate myself if I said it was above Carole & Tuesday. Carole & Tuesday blew me out of the water. I was kind of excited for it, knowing that it came from the same creator as Cowboy Bebop, which is a freaking amazing show and also a masterpiece. And so is Carole & Tuesday. It's a musical anime where the music is freaking so good. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Is every single song completely amazing? No, but so much of that show has so many good songs. The only flaw to it is that I would say the characters are not super fantastic. But honestly, in Vinland Saga, I don't know if all the characters are fantastic. There's only a couple characters that I think are really, really good in that anime as well. Now, Vinland Saga, there's nothing I can really complain about that show. It's really, really, really good. That was a lot of reallys. It's really, really good. And then for Demon Slayer is very fun. Is it the best shonen ever? No. Not at all. But both those, I just can't compare them to Carol and Tuesday. I think there's only been a couple other shows that have resonated with me the way that Carol and Tuesday has. The last anime that resonated with me the same way Carol and Tuesday has was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is pretty much praised as one of the greatest anime of all time. It's just such a fantastic show that had me tearing up every other episode. I got tears in my eyes, which does not happen for me. Like I said, I don't get that emotional. Every once in a while something cinematic will happen. I'm like, oh yeah. This show it just melts your heart, my dudes, my ladies. It's phenomenal. I can't praise it enough. Is it my complete favorite anime? No, it's not my favorite anime of all time, but it's just so up there for me that every time I hear people talking about it, like it's not that great, I'm like, no. So go vote for Carol and Tuesday for soundtrack and anime of the year for Crunchyroll. Also, before I'm finished, 2019 had also a pretty, I don't know if it was a breakout hit. I feel like it should have been, was The Promised Neverland, which I had to, which was the reason that this video was a little late, a little past, probably when I should have posted it. But Promised Neverland is pretty dope. That is a good show. It's just it's a good thriller. It's a very good thriller anime, and I have not seen too many, because it's not horror. It's definitely not that, but it is a thriller anime, and I've not seen too many like suspenseful anime like that I'm like, yo, that's real good. It's very big brain if you catch my drift. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I super appreciate it. Subscribe if you like it. Give this video a like if you thought anything I said was interesting, and just leave a comment below what you thought year by year. If you think I'm wrong, that's cool. I have no problem hearing out your opinion. So thank you so much for watching. Also, the actual best anime for the last decade was Kuroko's Basketball, but I can get to that on a later date.